It's been a long time since the old Shaft, but now that we have a new Shaft, we're gonna hit it really hard.
That's what she said.
What is up, Flick fans, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking the 2019 version of Shaft. I need you guys in the comments down below. Let me know, have you seen this movie? Did you like it? Did you not like it? And are you ready to talk about it? Let's talk about Shaft. So John Shaft Jr., a cybersecurity expert with a degree from MIT, enlists his family's help to uncover the truth behind his best friend's untimely death. So the original Shaft came out in 2000, directed by John Singleton, starring Samuel L. Jackson and Richard Roundtree. This carries on that story and brings it to a new generation. Now, I didn't know how to feel about this movie going in. I saw the director in Tim Story and I said, well, Tim Story, not the best. My big issue with Tim's Story is that his films are a bit bland. He tries to bring a style to them, but it ends up falling flat, and that happens with the majority of his films. Think Like a Man 2, Ride Along 2. I mean, the man has really directed not necessarily box office bombs, but bombs critically, and that had me worried. Something else that had me worried is Shaft is not a movie that anyone was really asking for. It'll do decent at the box office, won't make a ton of money, it will be fine. I'd say it'll make like $15 million opening weekend, something like that, but people do love Samuel L. Jackson, and I like the chance to see Samuel L. Jackson back in a lead role, because it's been a while since we've seen him in a lead role in theaters. He's had a few direct-to-DVD movies like that. Okay, Austin, how'd you feel about this movie? Well, it's fine. And those are really my thoughts walking out. The movie was fine. It's a bit forgettable. It doesn't really do anything to draw you in past its tropes and really past what we saw in the trailer. The moments in the trailer for me were funny, and I actually liked the trailer and the vibe that it gave me. It's kind of like a harken back to the 70s with the music, and the music that plays all throughout the movie. I think it was a bit much, and there are multiple aspects of this movie that are just a bit much. The editing, the transitions, the over-stylized aspect. A lot of people use the phrase when reviewing a movie, style over substance. I haven't used it in a while. This is a good example of where you can use that phrase. This is a lot of style, and granted, Tim Story is not known for his style, so I like the fact that he's trying to integrate not something different, but something with a bit more flair in this movie compared to a lot of his other films, so I have to give him credit for that. But style over substance, meaning there wasn't too much to the plot. That made me look back and go, oh, that was inventive. That took these characters in an interesting direction, when it just took them in a very plain and average direction, in a predictable story, in a conventional story with so many tropes and aspects that just get used over and over in movies, and those tropes were played with multiple times in this movie. The one-liners, it felt like there was a one-liner every 5 minutes, and that may have been Tim Story's attempt to, once again, harken back to the movies of old, but the action scenes, which should have been the most interesting part of the movie, because this is Shaft, it's just, you know, gunfire between Samuel L. Jackson and the bad guys, and the bad guys, let's talk about that real quick, was the weakest part of the movie to me. You automatically knew exactly what route this was going to go down without saying too much, without spoiling anything, but you really can't spoil too much about this movie. But once the bad guys come on screen, it's the most unauthentic and stale dialogue that I have heard in quite a while. The characters, the lead characters in John Shaft, JJ Shaft, and John Shaft Sr., when he comes on screen, that's entertaining, but he doesn't come on screen until the end of the movie, and the dialogue between Samuel L. Jackson and his son is a bit too cliche for me now. The delivery of that dialogue sometimes is fun, and the exchanges between those characters, there was excitement to be had, but I like to gauge movies on how they make me feel, and this just didn't make me feel very much. It's a story, like I said, that I'm going to forget about because it didn't do much for me. And I'm not sitting here saying it's a bad movie. I don't think it's a bad movie. I feel like I've been saying the same thing for weeks now. It's just another studio sequel, an unnecessary film. I will put that stigma on it. This movie is a bit unnecessary, but it did give Samuel L. Jackson a chance to shine, and he is really funny. There's one line, a Lawrence Fishburne line in particular, that cracked me up, and a few one-liners here and there that really had me laughing and made me enjoy the characters. Also, Alexander Shipp is in this movie. Whether it's Dark Phoenix or this, I don't care how good the movie is. I love her. I think she's great. be in more things. And the last big negative is the characters. The character setup. You're thrown into this film, and the main character is a cybersecurity expert with a degree from MIT, and he doesn't really showcase that any. Every time he sees a computer, he does the typey thing with the sound effect. I'm in. I never got that from the writing. I got it from the exposition because they just give these giant exposition dumps where they explain things to the audience, but I didn't get it from the character progression, and that's what I was lacking from most of the characters. They did not progress very well, and most of them are the exact same character at the end that they were at the beginning. A very similar complaint I had to Men in Black International, and they both came out the same weekend. I'm gonna go 42% for this reboot/sequel of Shaft. As a guy with no real attachment to the first one, I think it's an okay movie, but this one just took all of the themes and the ideas behind that one and tried to bring it to a new generation, and in my opinion, didn't do a very good job, even though I can see how some people will have fun with this. Austin, you're too harsh. Go away. Fine, that's just giving you my opinion. Thank you guys once again for watching this video. Tonight, Jessica Jones Season 3, tomorrow and the next day. More reviews, more tier lists, more videos. A lot of stuff to do this weekend. You guys are the best. I'll see you very soon.